Beginning, how it all began, how this whole museum thing all began. And of course, what is behind this whole museum is actually really the family, and you will see how the family dynamics is like. Just a taster, because you only have so much time. And the third thing, the 4C's, we talk about diamonds, right? Gemstones. So 4C is something. You heard of 4C's? Have you heard of 4C?
Yeah,
The
I
quality of diamond?
say its connection.
No, 4C is carat weight.
Diamond.
No, I'm more later. But you're very smart.
I have another 4C.
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
also cash,
cash,
condominium.
credit card.
His character, capacity.
Oh,
I forgot how to
put
do it.
together, in the calendar. That's very nice. And of course, last but not least, you run a business. You don't think about the future. Then what's the purpose, right? So a little bit about us. When you walk in here, you see the Gem Museum, correct? But really, the Gem Museum is a brand. We have a main company that's called the Gem Capital, and Gem Capital hosts all the other brands like Gem Museum Shop, the King's Bespoke, and so on. Mainly interacting with people, engaging the community. This portion, we really want to engage with community. And so we partner with even churches to bring people here in this place. Yeah, sometimes we do like worships like this, sometimes we have like a prayer session, sometimes we just bring people in to eat, and we don't eat the gems, we bring food for them. And we interact and we pray for people. So that, and we have even events, public events that we run in this place. That we have like people that is non-Christian. They will come in, look at the gems, and all. We will chit chat with them what are gems about. If you have read the Bible, right? Genesis talk about gemstones. Revelation also talk about gemstones. So people are curious, and we use that as like a platform to reach out to people, to share with people the gospel. Yeah, in a very non-religious way, very not intimidating way. Like, oh, you want me to be Christian? No. It's not like this. We want you to know that you are gem. You are beautiful, you are wonderfully made and fearfully made. Yeah. So you see over here, 5Gem Research Institute is an institute, of course, it's research and it's institute. So it was two entities, research and institute. So later on, hopefully we have 5 minutes, we just go upstairs, the lab and the school, the classroom is upstairs. And what we do is that we research on gemstones, we research on gemology, and my father-in-law has been doing this for a long time. Yeah, he wrote almost like, I think more than 100 research papers already. So towards the last 50 research paper, he always put my name in because I edit his paper. I read the grammar. I say, how come this nanometer minus 1 is not correct? I'm just kidding. I'm not at that level so much yet. But I check if this doesn't make sense. I don't understand. So if the layman if I cannot understand, then the layman will not be able to understand. Okay, so I help him with that. He put my name in. So thank God for him. So that's him in a picture. Showing, I think it's a group of students from schools. We engage a lot with tertiary students, with even primary school. So you see this picture over here, right? These are all the little kids. They are 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old. So we cater to the whole range of the community. Yeah, we talk about community engagement, and that's what we really like. We really like to have people, and also have you here. So university, primary school, secondary school, preschool, and families. We have homeschool families coming in as well. So the siblings, sometimes you see how the siblings take care of each other. When they come in, they say, okay, the older sibling, you have to take care of the younger one. Make sure they don't drop the stone. So they're very cute. They will take ownership. Okay, my little brother cannot drop the stone because we let them handle the crystal, you see. So let them have a feel and touch. So for children, they like that tactile feeling. Yeah. Okay, so sorry, too fast. All right. So I mentioned about Gem Capital and 5Gem Research Institute. So we also have 5Gems and jewelry. 5Gem and jewelry is a jewelry arm of the whole business. So we have 3. We have the school with the lab, and then the jewelry arm, and then now we have the public education, which is a museum. So this gem jewelry, 5Gems and jewelry, it was long time ago. It started as Alvin's Gems. Alvin Gems is actually a name that my father-in-law came up with. And I asked him why you choose Alvin, E-L-V-I-N. And he said, it looks cool, it sounds cool, so he used the name. And then it's funny because over time people think that he's Alvin, but he was never Alvin. So then later on, he changed to 5Gems and jewelry. Have you heard of Far East organization? I think in the Philippines maybe you have Far East organization. Huh? The hotel, right? Have
School.
no. Oh, you have school in Far East, is it? Okay. Yeah, so there's the name Far East in many different Asian countries. In Singapore, particularly, is this big real estate company called Far East Organization. They own hotels and residences and malls. So people ask, are you related to Far East Organization? I said, no. We are sort of a family friend, but then not related because they think that suddenly they think, how come real estate become going to do jewelry? So I know we are not related. And how did this name come about? It was very, very simple. It's because the father-in-law had his shop at Far East Shopping Center. So he called himself Far East Gems and Jewelry. It was that simple, so during that time. So sometimes I understand you are like lecturers to students who are doing business. And sometimes say, what about the name? We go into so much about the name. But my father-in-law, just because he was there, so he called himself Far East. it was as simple as that. Right, so but it evolved. When my husband came into the business, we still use the name Far East Gems and Jewelry because people know about it. So we carried on, and we decided that we use this name to practice legacy. Meaning to say, right, we help people to sort out their jewelry pieces. We have customers that come in bags of jewelry. Sometimes those bags, they hide it nicely, not like plastic bag, for market come here. So they put it in bags and they bring it in. Sometimes those jewelry pieces, everything we add up 500,000, 1 million, 1.5 million, just like that. And we help them to sort out the value, sort out the looks, the beauty of it, and then they will tell us like, this one we want to liquidate it, we want to sell it off, or this one we want to give it away. So we help them with that. We ask them certain questions, and then they help them to have clarity in their mind to do that. So Far East Gems and Jewelry. Also, when my husband came in, we do the easiest thing. We sell wedding rings, wedding bands, and proposal rings. So he's still doing that. And it has become a bespoke, so we call it the King's Bespoke. This one we put a bit of thought, because we want to present the King, Jesus the King, so we call it the King's Bespoke. And we help people to make the best ring for their fiancé, their future wife, and help them with their wedding bands. So that's what they do, and that's what my husband does. So if you want to learn more about it, you can talk to him later. Hopefully we have an extra 5 minutes. Yeah, and I share a little bit about the history here because if you look at over there, right, the family is in the business for 45 years. Right, that was what happened in the past. And I find that I'm a very science person. I graduated from National University of Singapore with a pharmacy degree. And then I come into jewelry, I'm like, okay, I never even heard of gemology before. But when I came in, I said, wow, there's so much science in it, I got interested. And I began to appreciate the gems, the beauty of the gems more through the science that I know. So that's over time I realized about myself, like, okay, this connects. And when I learned about the history of the industry, it even gets even more and more fascinating. So 45 years in the business, that's what happened in the past, right? And that was what helped us for the present as well. So my husband and I have been in the business for 18 years, last 18 years, and we started to bring our children in a couple of years ago as they were, actually when they were very little, we already brought them in. We have like pictures of them at 3 years old playing with gemstones. My father let them play. Just let them sort it out. So it was quite fun to see how children actually sort it out. That is how we are able to create the children's program. Like for little kids, 3-4 years old, we were able to do that for them. Yeah, and of course, the museum is going into 10 years already. Next year is our 10-year anniversary. So we have been 10 years in the community, reaching out to the general public to share with them the value, the quality, and the authenticity of the gemstone. And many a times we have, especially when there's students group coming in, we talk about identity a lot. So we use value, quality, and authenticity to share with them, to bring parallel to their identity too. And this is everything that's integrated into the community engagement that we do. So we have schools, we have churches that come, as well as different groups that come in because they were very interested in knowing how we actually present gemstones as part of a person's identity. I really hope we have extra time. Okay, I don't want to talk so much already. If we have a chance, we will do some what we call gem reading. It's pretty interesting. Yeah. Okay. So now we come into the 4C. Why 4C? Because I'm thinking, you know, I want to share this with people in a more simplified manner. But it's so many things, you know, there's so many thousands of gemstones in the market, and I like them all. And if I talk to you about science like double refraction, you know, you're going to be like, what is this? Absorption spectrum. You're going to go crazy. Right? Like, what is this, man? So, okay, let's go for the simplest one. 4 C's. 4 C's of a diamond. Clarity. What about clarity? It's about our identity. Okay? Clarity of identity. So we go through a series of self-discovery. My husband and myself, we go through a series of self-discovery. And many a times we realize that actually he and I are very, very different. Family dynamics, oh my goodness, if you have touched base with family businesses before, you will probably know there will always be 2 or 3, 4, 5 clans. They all have different thinking, different way of doing things, they have different styles of doing things, different values, different beliefs, and when we come together, that friction is real, it's very, very real. So what I try to focus on is that identity. If I do not know myself very well, I will always be in comparison. I will always try to fight, you know. And if I am secure in my identity, I don't have to fight. I just need to know my role, I just need to know my position, and just continue on in that and do the best that I know how, and pray and ask for help. Yeah, so that's identity. Next is credibility. We are an institution here. We teach, we educate. So credibility is very important, especially in the jewelry trade. Because if you don't have the credibility, people will be asking, where is this guy from? Is this a scam? Is this a fake? You know, is this out to cheat my money? You know, is he going to run away with my gemstone without paying? So that credibility is important. So part of credibility is the connections that we have. Even in Africa, how they do connection is that they will have this guy that will come to you, okay, and they will check out, okay, the whole family. They will go and interview the whole family clan, the uncle, the auntie, the cousins, the grandma, the grandfather, the great grandma, maybe, you know, some of them, and to check out the whole clan about this guy, if this guy is credible. So that connection becomes very important, that association very important. So my husband's father, my husband's grandfather, he was in Malaysia, he was a timber merchant, and he was in almost every association. He was not just there in name, he was there to engage. So he was the president of almost like all the different associations that he was in. You know, and that's how he engaged with the community as well, and to serve. So one of the very key things in engaging the community is about serving them. Yeah, and that's where we get to have the connection as well. We are also part of the Singapore Jewelers Association as well as the Diamond Exchange of Singapore. So as a museum, we are part of the Museum Roundtable membership, which is the National Heritage, which is you know, an association under the National Heritage Board. So we engage with them, and we also propose programs, and we present our place and offer services and offer our space, sometimes charged, sometimes free. So it depends on how much of the engagement that we want to do. Last but not least is a commitment. It's a long-term game. Okay, it's not just I buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Those kind of business is a different kind of business. For us, we want to have a longevity. You can see the wedding band there, so it's just time is centered. Okay, so someone's phone is ringing.
Yeah, we are looking for the handphone.
Oh, it's right here. Cool. Okay, I have a lot of words here, but this is who I am. I've gone through different things. All the 4 C's. Self-discovery, credibility. I wrote an e-book, very simple e-book to help people to have an idea of how to do gems identification. You know, we are acquainted, we have the connection with the international brands, Bulgari, Boucheron, Cartier, Tiffany & Co. We do long-term, ongoing training with them, and many of them, they were international. Some of them, they are high jewelry salespeople. They are very good at doing sales, very good. You'll be very convinced to buy something that is worth $500,000 from them. Whether you have the money or not. Okay, so it's a journey, it's a continuous journey there. Okay. So then what about the future? Yes, got it. What about the future? Like I mentioned, you know, we have our students here, these are like 14, 15 years old. We not only have groups of people coming in and going out just like that, we also allow the students to come in for internship. So we give them an opportunity to learn, we give them an opportunity to explore themselves. So we want to be true to the 4 C's, you know. We give them that self-discovery process. so that they can, eventually as they grow and they go into the workforce, they have a better understanding of how work is like. So we work with schools for internship programs, for part-time programs. Moving forward, we are coming 10 years for the Gem Museum, 45 years in the whole family business. We talk about succession planning all the time. I think I missed out something here. This one. Business as usual, missions in mind. Is a pun intended. I was missions in mind, but then missions in mind also. So we talk about, just now I mentioned about Ministry of Reconciliation. We feel like whatever we do, we need to have a purpose. Okay, whatever our purpose is, every single person has got slightly different purpose, as the Lord spoke to us. As we discover ourselves, we know, okay, what is my purpose in the marketplace? And then for purpose, how can we have that influence? Right, so for us, it's being ambassador of Christ. We have people coming in, we retouch them, pray for them. My husband always pray for his customer. That's what he does. For me, I educate, I share with people, and I just love people. Right, so that is what we do. We want to have succession planning. We want to leave behind a legacy. So we brought our 2 children. These are my 2 kids. We had an opportunity to go to Geneva, a sponsored trip to Geneva in 2022, and they wanted us to present the Gem Museum in a 1,000 square feet space, so about this big space, and present family to them. So we brought our 2 children and 2 of us, and displaying a ton of jewelry, gemstones, and all this in a 1,000 square feet space. So I got my kids involved. This is not really doing well. My son was helping out to set up. My daughter was helping to set up. And my son followed my husband around. learning from the father, literally. Learning from the father. And my daughter was helping with the children. And this is a proud mom's moment. So he was doing guided tour to people from Switzerland, France, Italy. So he was literally showing them, and this is like a proud mom's moment, right? 11 years old. So because of that, they wanted us back again and again. And we actually go there and see the children there growing up. Yeah. So that was something really, really cool. So we want to engage next generation. We always try to get the kids in, to get them interested in the science, to get them interested in life. Next thing that we want to do for the future, explore international opportunities. So because we do research, we have to have that partnership with other universities. So like maybe even your university, if you have a science department that may be interested to do research in gemstones or research in geology, you can always come to us as well, so we can do that opportunity of research. So you can see that picture here. We went to Indonesia earlier August, in early August this year, and we have friends from Thailand, from France, from also Holland, yeah, and Singapore of course, and Indonesia. So we were there, and this is an Indonesian diamond mine. So we were there trying to mine diamonds. Of course, don't have, not so easy. Alright, so we want to explore international opportunities. That's why we have all of you here, and the museum is really open platform as an international platform to connect and to bridge the gap between the gems and jewelry industry as well as the rest of the world. So with that, I would like to sum up our personhood, faith and family, perspective, having clarity, credibility, connection, commitment, and last but not least, in our practice of all this is the community engagement, also planning for our children, our succession planning, as well as the international connections. So thank you very much for your attention. I hope that you have catch some nuggets of this. Thank you.